I'm Nkepile Mabusa. Welcome to this special edition of Inside Africa from Accra, Ghana, site of this year's CNN MultiChoice African Journalist Awards. Now, journalism can be a very difficult and sometimes dangerous vocation on this continent. The awards were created 13 years ago to recognize the courage, dedication and sacrifice it requires and encourage excellence in journalism around Africa. Now, this year's winners were chosen from a record number of entries, more than 1,944 countries. But first, let's look at the host country this year. Ghana has had a long history of political instability caused by multiple coups post-independence. Today, it's a vibrant democracy and is considered as one of the more economically sound economies in the whole of Africa. But the country is not without its problems. The awards have returned to their roots. Ghana hosted the first AJA ceremony in 1995. In the years since, this country has built a strong record of press freedom and is generally considered a model of West African democracy and stability. But this wasn't always the case. Signs of a growing economy, but many ordinary Ghanaians say they're not seeing the benefits. Critics say debt and corruption have over the years deprived the poor of a better life. Despite reforms and a reported decline in poverty, many continue to live in squalor with no access to clean running water or proper sanitation, a deadly cocktail. According to the country's health ministry, inadequate sanitation kills 8 people per hour in Ghana. Yet Ghana is the second biggest cocoa producer in the world and exports gold and timber as well. Now the country has discovered oil. Although drilling at this oil rig behind me is expected to begin around 2010, the discovery of this commodity, considered the lifeblood of the world, has created high expectations of further economic growth and a better life for ordinary Ghanaians. But in countries such as Nigeria and Angola, oil has not improved the lives of the poor and is seen by some as a curse rather than a blessing. These fishermen on Ghana's Cape Coast are excited about the discovery but remain skeptical. George Mensah says maybe in the future, when his country has better leaders, his children will benefit from the oil.
Now they will go for politician people and then they enjoy it and then we are suffering too much.
But Ghana's President John Kufuor says the government will pump oil money back into the economy for roads, bridges and schools, building on economic growth in the country. One analyst sees hope.
We have found oil at a time in which our governance institutions are much better than all these countries that you have mentioned. And I think with the vigilance on issues of corruption, we should be able to manage it much better. I suspect for us it will be a blessing.
Last year, Ghana celebrated 50 years of independence from colonial rule. But its road to political stability was not a joyous one. In 1966, the country's first black leader, Kwame Nkrumah, was overthrown in a military coup that was to be the first of many more.
Yes, it can be.
Ghana now has a vibrant democracy, but Nkrumah's son says it's up to the politicians to ensure progress.
Part of the problem is that a lot of our leaders seem again to become too arrogant and extravagant in their way of life and so on, and they seem very much divorced from the ordinary people.
In December, Ghanaians go to the polls to vote in their third democratic election since independence. President Kufuor's NPP party has been credited for improving the economy and attracting foreign investment, but many say more needs to be done. Ghanaian President John Kufuor was the guest of honor at this year's awards. Coming up, Arzane Verjee catches up with the symbol of West African democracy, and still ahead, highlights from the awards gala and an interview with the night's big winner.